We've seen regular Andrew Wiggins. We've seen all-star Andrew Wiggins. But it's time I introduce you guys to playoff Andrew Wiggins.
Brunson defends, snaps it outside to Wiggins. Goes by Bullock! Drops the sledgehammer!
Now that's a nasty poster, but it's much more than just the occasional highlight play from Wiggins. He's doing everything asked of him for this Warriors team on both ends of the floor. And when you combine this with the firepower of the Splash family and the greatest center of all time, Kevon Looney, and of course Draymond Green as well, this is what makes the Golden State Warriors so impossible to beat. But firstly, focusing on Andrew Wiggins, the Dallas Mavericks had 7 offensive rebounds in Game 3 against the Warriors. Andrew Rodman Wiggins had 6 by himself. And he does it through intelligence and athleticism. Here Wiggs gives the ball up to Dre. Steph and Dre run a pick and roll, and the moment he recognizes that play is being run, he comes from the weak side and provides a lob threat for Draymond, which we have seen that executed multiple times during the season and the playoffs. But when Draymond goes to shoot, Wiggins quickly boxes out and is there for the putback. Or how about on this play where he boxes out both Dinwiddie and Doncic and slams it home late in the fourth quarter. A lot of people are focused on the defense, and it's been great on Luka Doncic, making things a lot more difficult than the numbers might suggest. Or they might be focused on the offense. Andrew Wiggins putting up 21 points, 4 assists on good efficiency. But the fact he's averaging 3 offensive rebounds a game at his size and position shows the intensity and energy at which he is playing at, and it's that energy combined with what guys like Kevon Looney are doing that have been difference makers for this Warriors team. But before we go any further with those guys, are these the stats of a washed player? Because I seem to recall people calling Stephen Curry washed, and now all of a sudden, he's dominating an elite defense in the Western Conference Finals, and the same elite defense that kept CPO and Walmart Klay Thompson to these numbers over the last 2 games of the series. Just a quick comparison. Steph Curry, the last 2 games against Dallas, versus Booker and Paul's last 2 games against the Mavericks. Yeah, but some people wanted to tell me Devin Booker was the real All-NBA first-team guard and the real MVP conversation player over Stephen Curry. But anyways, moving on from that. This is peak Golden State and peak Stephen Curry right here. Klay collapses the defense before kicking it out to Wiggins, who kicks it to Looney, and just watch the cut from Steph. If this wasn't off the ball, everyone would be talking about how he snatched Dinwiddie's ankles. But this is what he does without the ball in his hands. He fakes as though he's going for the dribble handoff, and then snaps back the other direction, and Dinwiddie's ankles follow suit before he hits a 3 and turns around before it even goes in. All in one possession. Those are the kind of plays that change the momentum of the game. But it's this same explosiveness that he's moving with that has really been the dominant factor for him in these playoffs, even when his shot wasn't falling at all points in time. I mean, just watch these examples where they try to trap him in the corner, something they did successfully against Devin Booker, using Luka Doncic as that second defender often, but Steph isn't Booker, and he just glides straight past those guys before looking off a defender and dropping it inside to Kevon Looney. Or how about on these 2 plays down the stretch, where Steph blows past Reggie Bullock and finishes around the 6'8" Luka Doncic on both occasions. But it's not just Steph that truly makes this Warriors team so great. When most teams are down 17 points in the 3rd quarter to one of the best teams in the league, led by Luka Doncic, you'd expect that team to lose the game. Sometimes teams would even fold. I mean, ask the Phoenix Suns how easy it is to come back from 17 points against the Dallas Mavericks. But the difference is, the Golden State Warriors are built differently to practically every other team in the NBA. Down 14 points at halftime of Game 2 against the Mavericks, the Warriors came out and allowed 13 points from the Mavericks in the 3rd quarter. This was a team in Dallas that heading into the Warriors series was the 5th ranked offense in the playoffs. A team with Luka, all of these great offensive players and shooters were held to 13 points in a quarter of basketball, and honestly, the player that deserves the most credit for this is Kevon Looney. The Mavericks love to use high screens with shooters outside to get Brunson and Luka onto bigs. Luckily for the Warriors, Kevon Looney is more than capable. Watch here as he mirrors Brunson all the way into the paint and forces a tough contested shot. Or in this play, where Luka is unable to beat him off the dribble and is forced into another tough contested mid-range shot which clanks off the rim. But if you're still not convinced, how about the 3rd explosive guard on this Mavericks team that again cannot get past Looney and is forced to try and pass it out to Josh Green, which is read by Steph Curry and forced out of bounds for a turnover. Right now, the Warriors have 3 guys in Looney, Wiggins, and Draymond that can switch onto guards on the perimeter and stay in front of them, but also hold their own in the post against wings, guards, and even the best big men in the league, like we saw when Draymond was matched up against Nikola Jokic. That's without mentioning the Splash Brothers that are playing defense as well. And Stephen Curry in particular deserves credit for doing a really good job at not allowing Luka Doncic to try and take advantage of that matchup. But the defense is only half of it, as we all know. And offensively, the most impressive part is the Warriors' execution down the stretch of games. Leading by 5 points in Game 3 with the Mavericks on an 11-2 run, Steph calmly brings the ball up the court. But as usual, he is trapped on 2 occasions. The ball is then passed around the edges before it finds Klay, who fakes out Luka and drives into the defense, drawing a crowd of Mavericks defenders before kicking it out to a wide open Jordan Poole, and well, a wide open Jordan Poole, we know how that goes. Or how about the game prior, where the Warriors completed a huge comeback with practically flawless execution down the stretch. Here's Draymond with the ball out top. Moses Moody sets an off-ball screen to free up Klay, and we all know this is often used to free up Klay for a jump shot, but he recognizes Brunson has overcommitted, and he hits him with a beautiful hesitation move before getting downhill and finishing in an open lane, which is opened up because of the shooting threat that Andrew Wiggins poses in the opposite corner. It's the Warriors' ability to constantly move without the ball and constantly put pressure on the defense, and even a guy like Moses Moody to come in and set a screen in the absence of GP2, Otto Porter Jr., and Iguodala, who would all probably be playing ahead of him if they weren't injured. And then here's another example of the benefit of having so many of these ball handlers on the team. Klay beats Bullock off the dribble, and this forces Finney-Smith and Luka to help over, and in turn, Klay kicks it out to Steph, who sidesteps Luka and says good night as the 3 splashes home. And just like that, I'm going to say good night or good morning. A like on the video would help out a ton. Subscribe for more. Bye.